As Doctor Who fans, we're quite spoiled when it comes to home media releases. We get these amazing animations, we get these intricate making of documentaries, we get these hour-long interviews with cast members and crew that we adore. We know so much behind the scenes information about our favourite show because of these releases. But today I'm going to talk about an outlier in the Doctor Who DVD range, the release of the Underwater Menace. Spoiler, guess who's the real menace? The BBC. The Underwater Menace is one of the last DVDs to come out in the original DVD range. And the Underwater Menace's story isn't rated the highest in fan opinion. The Underwater Menace was even ranked number 224 out of 241 in the Doctor Who magazine poll, where it ranked every single episode based on fan opinion. So in 2011, when Terry Burnett was looking through his film archive and found episode 2 of the Underwater Menace, Doctor Who fans were excited for a missing episode return, but they probably would have been more excited with a different episode that had been found. But it took all the time from 2011 to 2015 for this DVD to finally be released, so fans could take a glimpse at this missing episode for the first time. So you would think, if they spent so much time working on this release, it's going to be something pretty great. You're expecting an animation of the missing episodes, or even like some great behind the scenes information. But what we got instead was far from that. The Underwater Menace was originally slated to be released in 2015, and then for some reason got cancelled. Obviously the fans were quite upset about this because they were looking forward to getting the final episode of unreleased Doctor Who on DVD. So of course fans do what they usually do, and they set up a petition that gets a really small amount of people voting for it, and it's usually quite embarrassing. But maybe this petition actually worked, because in late 2015, it randomly appeared on the BBC store for purchase. But the actual DVD was quite lacking. At first glance, it had a telesnap reconstruction on it, instead of an animation, which isn't the biggest problem in the world. For example, on the Web of Fear's original DVD release, it had a telesnap reconstruction, which was serviceable, it was in decent quality, and it had enough movement in it that it was definitely watchable. Obviously, an animation would have been preferable, or maybe not, judging what we get later on. Imagine if I did a video where I didn't complain about the Web of Fear animation for like 5 minutes. I have a feeling I'm going to be in like my deathbed and I'm still going to be complaining about the Web of Fear animation. But back on topic. So the telesnap reconstruction that was available on the Underwater Menace DVD was quite lacking. I'm going to read what's read on the Doctor Who Restoration Team website, the people behind putting these releases together. They said, rather than animate the missing episodes, the instruction that came to us via commissioning editor was that they were to be presented as an explicably basic telesnap and off-air soundtrack reconstruction. Although we offered to prepare the reconstructions to the standard of that featured on the Web of Fear for no extra cost, we were firmly told that the reconstruction must be exceptionally basic. No recreated opening titles or credits, no composite shots, no moves to add life to the storytelling, and all the telesnaps had to be presented one after another, in the order they were shot, and without repetition. A very odd commercial decision which we were at a loss to understand. So basically, the people behind these releases were like, we're happy to go out of our way, no extra cost, we'll do a more enhanced reconstruction so the viewers at home get a pretty solid product. And the commissioning editors, the people higher up, were like, no, you're not doing that. We want the least amount of effort. We don't care about what Doctor Who fans want because they're going to buy it anyway. Just put the most basic reconstruction you can. And it's just so surprising. And it's so annoying because, as I was saying earlier, these releases we get are incredible. The people who work on them are hardworking, big Doctor Who fans who put a lot of love into this work, who are clearly working a lot more hours than they're probably getting paid for because they love this show so much and they want to deliver a proper product to Doctor Who fans. And it's really upsetting when higher ups stop people from doing this. So what we end up getting is this reconstruction which is barely watchable. It may as well just be an audio track by itself. The title sequence doesn't even move. It's such a weird decision to make. The fact that you could go on Dailymotion or YouTube and look up Underwater Menace Reconstruction by Loose Cannon, or by any Doctor Who fan online, you're going to get a much more watchable experience than what's on the official DVD. It makes no sense. Like at times, it feels like, is this done on purpose? Were the Doctor Who fans so annoying and this petition was so in their face, they really said, you know what, Doctor Who fans, you get nothing. As in the commissioning editor, not the people who work on these DVDs. You know, all these, I have so much respect and love for everyone who works on these productions. I think they're amazing. So I want to make it very clear, I'm not talking about the people who are doing the hard work. I'm talking about the higher ups who are stopping them from doing their work. I don't know who this person is, but like they were saying, it's a really weird commercial decision. Why would you do this? What's interesting as well, originally there was going to be an animation for the Underwater Menace, but for some reason it just never happened. Originally, Quirios, who did the Ice Warrior animation, was lined up to do it. And then later there was discussions about Planet 55, who did the Reign of Terror, the 10th planet and the moon base, to do it instead. It even got to a point where apparently set designs were constructed, or at least drawn. But ultimately, that project never came to pass. There was the suggestion that because the range was nearing its end, that there just wasn't the budget there for it, there wasn't the interest, and it just didn't happen. But really, there's never been an official reason put out there, and everyone I've talked to have all said different things. I think it's just the sad truth of many things where just sometimes things don't happen. But the weird thing is, the DVD was commissioned to be released in 2015 originally. They had already shot a making of documentary, and as far as I know, they had already edited it. The DVD cover was already designed by Clayton Hickman, and it was ready to go. And then they just cut it. I'm not sure if they cut it because of the animation not going through, or what. It's really strange. So in the end, should we just be happy that we got anything? Should we just be happy that episode 2 came back to the archive and we got it cleaned up on DVD? Are we acting entitled for wanting a better production? I think if it was a point of, we need more time to work on this, we need more budget to make a better reconstruction, and then the higher up said no, that's fine. But they said they were happy to do it free of charge. America, explain! So at that point, it feels like spite. It feels weird. What's their decision for doing that? But ultimately, I'm getting angry about something that happened 6 years ago because I'm a Doctor Who fan. I get angry about things that happened 50 years ago. This whole channel was me just complaining about them junking Doctor Who back in the 70s. So maybe that's my whole thing. Maybe I just get angry about things that happened a long time ago. I think I'm just a little bit upset because I think the Underwater Menace is a story I feel like I haven't fully watched yet. I feel like the reconstruction wasn't solid enough, so I really felt like I had a real grasp on the story. Do you know when you watch an animation for the first time of a missing episode, you feel like you notice little things that you never noticed before in the reconstruction or when you listen to the audio? I feel like there's bits of the Underwater Menace that I think are quietly genius that we don't see, so we don't know. And I think episodes 1 and 4, which are the ones that are missing, are possibly the more exciting episodes. But even when episode 2 came back, we could really see that Troughton was getting a grasp on his character. He had that sort of quality that Tom Baker has in his era, where he's acting like a fool, but on the inside he's got a plan, he's pretending it. You know, they both have that quality that I really like in the Doctor, and Patrick Troughton obviously originated it for the Doctor. And obviously the Underwater Menace is incredibly camp and fun, and there's over-the-top performances, and I think the animation treatment would really benefit the Underwater Menace. But you know, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe the BBC will get some further funding for more animations, and eventually one day we do get the Underwater Menace. And who knows, it could be in a few years' time or 10 years' time, and they're doing crazy CGI where it looks like real life. Technology we haven't even tapped onto yet that's become somehow affordable for the BBC. Who knows what the future entails? And I'm sure when a collection box set for season 4 comes out, we'll get a better reconstruction for the Underwater Menace if an animation doesn't happen. You can see with these collection releases, there's so much love and effort and time put into them that everything that happened with the Underwater Menace release would never happen again. And that the DVD release of the Underwater Menace is a random footnote in Doctor Who's history. So, what is your favourite home media release coming out of the Doctor Who range? I'd really like to know, because I haven't decided what mine is yet. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the Macra Terror animation, and the collection box sets are amazing, and I can't choose my favourite one. Possibly season 19, because it has the most HD elements. And with this range, we're not even halfway through them yet, so there's going to be even more exciting things to come. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Josh Nares YouTube channel.